Hello, and thanks for joining the session. Today we're going to be looking at our chatbot again. Between the last session and this session, I did a little bit of extra work on Discord. So that's what we're going to take a look at first thing today is sort of the changes that we made. At the end of the last session, we had gotten to the point where Discord was actually working. If we look back at our Discord driver, where we left it was more or less the sample code directly from the README, and we found that we were able to get the Discord bot to actually run. First of all, though, before we actually do any of this, there's something I need to figure out real quick. So if we go to our Astrocast test admin live, ooh, this isn't giving me an error, but it is on my test box, which is interesting. So I'm happy it's working here. That's good. I'm a little unhappy why it's not finding it in Safari on my laptop. Let's try one more time. So that's test. The live version. Oh, wow. Okay, so never mind. Of course, my laptop is not going to find it because it's a completely different box than this one. Sometimes things are a little smarter than they should be. All right, so let's go ahead and fire up the bot just to make sure that it's still working. So bin console, bot run, and we're also going to need to have our messenger up and running as well. All right, so start the bot. Ooh, missing client secret. That isn't even kind of that isn't even kind of related to anything, really. Huh. Well, this session is off to a wonderful start. So let's see here. Let's comment out the drivers and see which one of these drivers is broken. All right, so we can run the bot with nothing and then nothing happens. Cool. Configure driver for Twitch. So that's the one that looks to be broken. Let's see if they all are. Maybe we can just work without Twitch to start with today. So let's get YouTube. No live broadcast found. Missing client secret failed. So these are all, this looks like this might be related to something I was trying to work on, was trying to secure my API keys a little better. So it's possible I broke a bunch of stuff with that. Code v doc. Let's see, new YouTube URL. So if the credentials files exist, try to load it. This is actually how I changed the code, so that in addition to the environment file, it also tries to load things from the credentials file, and that's where the stuff lives. So let me see if there's credentials. All right, so Twitch and YouTube are both having issues. YouTube user client secret. So this wasn't having a problem yesterday. All right, so let's pull up the actual file in the editor so that everybody can see the funness that's happening here. All right, so we have index. I'm going to add something here because maybe this is failing for some reason. All right. It isn't finding it. Let's see here. So let's do. All right. So it's possible this is related to the fact that this is a symlink. Let's see if that's what the problem is. So run it again. It's still not doing. Oh, this isn't. Ow! All right. So, of course, so this is the index PHP, which is great. The website works fine, Beau. The bot, on the other hand, is running from the console, which means everything should be failing everywhere that's happening in the background, and probably, yeah. Okay, so that's the problem. So let's go into bin console, and let's fix this up right. So we're going to do the same bit of code that we did here. So rather than creating an anonymous instance of .env and then loading just the env file, we are going to expand it a little bit and do some more interesting stuff. So console, we'll get rid of this and that. All right, so in theory now, the bot should just work. So it's great when things stop working and just start working randomly. Awesome sauce. Okay, let me double check a couple of other things. I want to double check the Twitch tags as I need to do. Oh, they're all set up correctly. Cool. All right, so let's see if we can now get the bot to run. And actually, I'm going to re-enable everything because I'm pretty sure that's what the problem was. Just this entry point. Yeah. Here we are. Cool. All right, so we're getting some stuff here. Okay, so everything's connected, everything is fine. If I go on the Discord channel now and say, yay, we should see that come through. So we're not doing anything with it yet, but it's actually there. So we can see Simensen, this number in channel general. That's actually me writing stuff. This really is me writing honest. There we go. Cool. So this gets us to the point that we were more or less yesterday. The things that I did differently was I went into the user level API for Discord. So let's go in here, app, Discord config. This looks more or less the way we left it. For the user side, I decided to do something different than we had for the other OAuth things in the past. Rather than doing the try with refresh, I decided to try and use a Guzzle middleware instead. So I'm using an Oauth2 Middleware. Let me see if I can pull up the URL for that. Oauth2, I think they call it a subscriber. Here we go. So this is the package that I ended up using. I'm using the Guzzle 6 version of it. I'm using the client credentials because that's what we're using. I'm not doing state, but I am passing scope and things like that. There's also a refresh tokens grant, so you can do refresh tokens. It uses the same exact config as the grant, the client credentials grant type. And then the only thing is you have to specify the original grant type and then also the refresh grant type. And it actually worked relatively well, so I was pretty excited about that. The other thing that was kind of sketchy was trying to figure out how to handle the access tokens. So the code right now is a lot cleaner, but I did have to make one major change. If we look at the way that we're handling persistence, um, I have a user OAuth credentials token persistence instance. It needs a user OAuth credentials repository, the object manager, and a user. So the interface requires us to have the ability to restore a token. So they pass us a existing token, and we're supposed to unserialize data into it. So here we're getting the information for the user from user OAuth credentials. If we don't have it, then we just don't do anything at all. We just return. There's save tokens, so this is when we get a new token after a refresh or even the initial creation of the request. We get a token. We need to do find or create in this case. And then we manually set the token type because we don't get that from the token interface. We get the access token, the refresh token, and then we get expires at as a time. So we add those and then we flush. The problem was that user OAuth credentials had a few required fields that we don't have access to. It had a remote ID, it had a avatar URL, and a display name. Display name and remote ID were both required, but now they aren't. I wasn't able to keep those. I couldn't find a way to get this information in here correctly at this point because we don't know it until we actually make the first request to get the user details. So this was kind of weird, but I sort of just went with it. If we just can accept the fact that it's not going to have a display name, at least initially, for a handful of seconds during the, it's the Discord controller. Essentially, this is the redirect handler. So this is where we actually get the code passed back. We get a code, we get the user from token storage, and then we ask the Discord API to get user details. We pass in the user and the code we have. So behind the scenes, what's going to happen is this is going to enable the client to do the initial transaction to swap out the code for an access token. So at this point, it needs to be able to persist that token. And that token then doesn't have access to this information that we can't get until later. So that's kind of the problem that I went through. So the solution, which isn't very good, but it has to do for now, is essentially do this part, then we do find or create for Discord. Actually, we can probably change this to find for Discord because we don't want to create it. It's already been created as a part of this process. And then we set the additional information, and then we flush, which persists these changes. So that's kind of where that went. So once we actually start doing more with the Discord API, I think it's going to be a lot cleaner than it was in the past with some of our other OAuth implementations. So I'm likely going to try and do more work with this. So let's see here. All right, so we're getting the bot information is coming through. It's getting number of Twitch viewers, and it's recording everything correctly. So it's getting both Twitch and YouTube, which is awesome. It's also not awesome because nobody's watching. So I'm going to see if I can round up a couple of other people. I haven't used this in a bit, so we'll see. Got my little Stream Deck up and running again. So we'll go ahead and let this run a bit. Let's find out now sort of the things that we were doing previously. So it looks like someone just said they started watching. It looks like it's Beryllium 9. Thanks for that. Thanks for joining. Hopefully that means that our Twitch viewer count is going to go up. I'm not actually sure how... I'm not really sure how accurate these viewer counts are for these anyway. They seem to be a little sketchy every once in a while. But if we go back to... did I lose Safari now? Oh, no, this tab. So yeah, it's still showing empty, even though there's someone in chat actually talking and watching. But I think that's just the nature of how this works. So thanks for joining, Beryllium. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Twitch driver, because that's going to be closest to what we're doing since it's already async. So we're going to want to do this sort of thing with stream online, get host name. So we've already taken care of the connection stuff just by doing, what was it? I think it was connect or login. So this is the part that essentially replaces this connection handling stuff. We might need a browser eventually. We'll see if we don't actually need to for now. Let's do on Stream Online. I'm just going to copy these bits in. So now these are things that are coming from the bot. So the bot is going to issue these events. This username to ID map, I don't know if we're going to need that. I think we might just be able to keep the user IDs. Let me look. Let's see here. So I don't have Twitch connected. Let me connect Astrocast tests. I'm going to add myself to Discord. Okay, so I should have a token in here now. Okay, so Discord bearer. I need to the refresh token. Hide that for now. So we have display name, remote ID. How to get that? Oh, that's good actually. So this is the remote ID. We're getting that as a part of this Discord controller. So we're getting that right after we connect. So now the question is, when we get these received message events, we need to see what author looks like. So we can see if it's giving that right ID. So let's do printar message. And let's start up the bot. Okay, and then Discord. Say, this is Beau. Ooh. Awesome. All right. So I have no idea what type I'm receiving here. So let's do instead echo message. So then we can at least type hint it. If you're in the habit of print-R-ing things like I am, if you print-R the wrong kind of object, you get really interesting information. All right, so let's type hint this now. Hopefully I can rely on it always being that type. Now we can get access to more information. Main thing is I want to see if we need to do more work to translate the author ID from this message into the remote ID. So let's do message, author, username, ID. There we go. Said. Count. Channel name. Well, I'm not going to do that actually. I'm just going to say this for now so I can figure out the rest of it later, because this is the main bit that I need. All right. All right. Log in this Astrocasts. Wait, expression result unused. Ah, there we go. All right, so this is the value I get for the ID, 832 1056. Let's just double check here. So I've seen a couple of times now where I've copied and pasted numbers and they actually weren't different. Or they actually were different even though they had the beginnings and the ends the same. So I think this looks right. So it's going to be safe for us to assume that we don't need to do extra work to get the user ID. If we go back to the Twitch driver, what we had to do here was translate the Twitch login to ID, because we'd get the username, but we needed to get the actual ID from that. So this is where we had to do some promises to make sure that we were getting things done correctly there. All right, so we verified that. So this bit of code here is what we need to do. So we're going to have the bot record a chat message. And so we're going to have to use the bot. Bring in chat message. And we need create for Discord. So copy and pasting, which is always awesome. All right, so create for Discord, author ID. So we need message, author ID, date time, current live stream. So this is the thing that we need to set up up in here. So we're setting the current live stream as soon as it comes in, which also means we can ignore these messages if there is no live stream. So what we had done for Twitch, let's see here. So if there is no current stream, break, and then we should also check to make sure that it's targeting the right channel first. So let's do these things here. So if there is no current stream, we'll return. Let's see. So this is if this, no, message channel get ID is not equal to, and I was given a tip before that if I do channel, it gives me the channel ID. What was that? Let's see. Here we go. So the channel ID is not equal to this value. Then we should return. So this should be a configuration value eventually, but right now it's not. So return, and just so we know, okay, let's fire this up again. Break. Okay, right. Remove this. Okay, so we got an exit, which is good. So Discord chat for channel. Type as array. Okay, so it looks like it's the right channel, so that's good. So it was complaining because of this part right here, which I'm totally fine with. So this is doing type channel name, message attachments. All right, so I'm going to go look up this package here, and I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to copy this one in first into chat so that people can take a look at this. This was the Guzzle middleware that does the Oauth stuff, and then we'll do PHP, React, Discord. Here we go. Actually, it's not this one, but it's the right person here. Emitter. Yasmin. Okay. Okay, so this is that's the ReactPHP package that we're working on here. Documentation. Let's see. Message. Message content with all message mentions replaced. I think that's probably what I want. These. So message. Clean content. Fire this up. Cool. So as a result of this, I got this Discord debug message that we don't need, but we can see that the command bus picked everything up correctly, recorded a session for record session chat message, author ID for type Discord with message awesome. So that came through right when we expected, and the consumer probably picked it up, and we can verify that by checking the chat messages table and see, yes, so user, Discord user with this ID said awesome. So let's do more again and reload this, and it's still working. So yeah, so that's actually pretty awesome. So that means that the Discord chat was really easy to get up and running because it was more or less identical to what we were doing with Twitch. But it was even easier than Twitch because the ID was just a part of the payload. So a couple of things I'm going to do is do this logger. I don't know if that's going to be context. If I do get an error, I don't know if this is actually going to be an exception or not. Let's see if that's in the docs. All right, we might have to dig the code. Source. There we go, planned events. Okay, so it does look like it's going to be an exception, so I think I can do exception here. On ready, I don't think I need to do anything with ready, actually. Yeah, that might be all we need to do for Discord, at least for what we're doing so far, which makes me super happy. Awesome. Okay, cool. So one of the other things I wanted to do, now that we have this up and running, if we look at the videos table, one of the things we can see is that these new videos, so handling Discord chat, has a YouTube video ID already. So it got that just by nature of having started up. So the different events that we had going on here ensured that worked. So if we go to YouTube, there we go. So this works. This is actually the session that we're on right now. So it helps save me from having to go do this after the fact to figure out what these IDs are. It does the same thing with the playlist as well. So what I'd like to do is see if I can do something similar with Twitch. So let me see, Twitch driver, add a periodic timer. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to check again, YouTube driver. I want to see what I ended up doing for that. So sync and schedule, clear YouTube stream details, get YouTube stream details. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be relying on something that I found in I think it was the Twitch Dev Discord channel. And so what I'm going to do is when the stream comes online, I'm going to do something similar here. This get Twitch video, or Twitch archived video, and pass the bot. What I was told is that as soon as as soon as the stream goes online, the Twitch automatically creates an archive video. So the most recent archive video, in theory, should be the video that's associated with the current live broadcast. But so we're gonna have to add a function to do a little bit of protection here, and then add a function to try and get the information. This Twitch API get most recent video. So I just want to get this working before we actually do something more with it. So this, if you've been following along, this is the more traditional way that I've been doing the OAuth stuff, which is, it's gotten really messy. So I finally did the right thing, or what you could argue is the right thing, and actually tried to figure out the Oauth2 middleware for Guzzle. Eventually, I'm probably going to go back and update all of the other OAuth APIs to use this instead, or use the middleware instead, because it's going to be much better for pretty much everyone, or for all of the APIs that we're writing. So let's do Twitch API get video, get channel videos. Let's see here. So broadcast type is highlight, comma separated list. All right, so I do need to specify the channel identifier. Twitch app config, get, I think it's the user ID. And then limit, let's do limit of 1. Offset of 0. Broadcast type of archive. And videos. What's this going to return? An array of JSON. So we need to figure out what that looks like. So let's do. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember if DD works in this sort of way, but let's try it anyway. And then we'll know for next time. All right. Okay. So DD does do pretty stuff on the console too. Awesome. All right. So total videos. The first one at the top here is session 7. It's not what I want. So that's not right. So let's try not limiting the broadcast type and not doing a limit at all. Let's see what kind of stuff this shows. Okay, so let's see here. Total videos. So this actually, all right, so this is going to be weird. So this is session 1. Session 2. Let's see, is this session 3? No, it only has the 2. So this might not be what I need. So let's go to Twitch dev. Videos reference. We can get a video, get top video. It's not really what I want. Let's go to maybe users. Get user. Create user. Actually, let me do a search. Okay, archive, highlight, and upload. Sort. Not sure why. I'm only getting 2 back. Because I think at the top it says there are, well, it does say there's only 2 videos. So something about an archive is what I was told. Maybe search reference, search streams. feed. Get channel videos. I wonder if you still have to specify it. Ah, so this did do it. So this did give me more of them. Okay, so now that we know what we have. Yeah, so Adam on chat is saying on your video page there are only 2. That's true, but there are 32 sessions in here. So if we look at this bottom one here, this is actually our session. I just need to figure out why it's at the bottom and what I can do to filter this so that I can see them. So I think that constraints, default, all types, no filter. I think that is a lie. I think that, wait, what note section? Adam's saying something about note section. If you can let me know what you mean by that, I'll take a look. But if I specify archive, I get 32. If I don't specify any filter at all, which is supposed to be no filter, I only get 2 responses, or 2 results. Oh, so Adam's saying that I'm only getting the highlights, which is fine, but that means that's the default. Or maybe it's default plus upload, but whatever it is, if I specify archive, I actually get the value. It makes me think this sort is wrong as well. So I'm going to do sort. Oh, yeah. So mousing over this, what I can see here is that in PHP, it's hard coding the default value for broadcast type to highlight, which is just ridiculous. So the PHP implementation here is giving a default value to something the API doesn't specify having a default. But it does say it's sorting by time. So time most recent first. That seems wrong as well. Let me try highlight language is null time, because it shouldn't be at the bottom, I wouldn't think. Because if I do limit to 1, it's going to give me the wrong value at the top, I believe. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this is the channel name, not the actual video name. All right, so what I need to do, I need to fix this because I'm kind of going in circles here. Let's do collect videos map. There we go. We'll do title. ID. I think this will give us something that's a little easier to read. So taxonomies, yay PHP. I was very good at managing the metadata for my past Twitch broadcasts. Astrocasts After Dark. So we're getting there. So getting started. Session 4. So 1, 2. Some of these ended up elsewhere. Oh, I wonder if it didn't have the right name yet when it started. Let me see if I can figure out what other values did we have here. So let's do this first value, or first one, created on 117. That's today. So I think this is right. It's just that the archive started out with the wrong name, because when Twitch went live, when the archive was created, it still had yesterday's title. So that's good. Believe it or not, this is good. So what this means I can do is return videos 0 ID. So to get the most recent archive video, actually, I'll return that. Yeah, so the last thing Adam has in chat is the SDK has default with the frowny face. Yes, very much a frowny face in my book as well. Sometimes it depends on who's maintaining the actual the actual API SDK implementation. If it's Twitch doing it, then this is a bummer. If it's someone else doing it, things can happen out of sync. They may have written this at a time when highlight was the default, or maybe they wanted the default to be highlight. It's really hard to say, but yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Twitch driver. So we now have the ability to get Twitch archive video. We'll say new video ID, and then let's just print it. And this is, I'm not really probably going to do a whole lot with this ID anyway, but it is still going to be good to be able to keep this metadata in sync, because right now, if you remember looking at that list of Twitch things, there's a lot of stuff that's messy and not actually correct. So let's see here. Notice debug. All right, so here we are. New Twitch video ID. Oh, it actually did pass back the entire thing. So I think what I need to do is just do the ID. So Adam says that it's possible it's recent because Twitch only recently started limiting how long videos stick around. There we go. So let's do ID. So now everything should be good to go. So what did we do with this on the YouTube side? So we dispatched YouTube stream details changed. We could probably do the same thing. So YouTube stream details changed. So let's create a message event for Twitch. I don't think we have as much, I don't think we have enough information in this existing event, so we'll do a new one. We'll say new Twitch stream stick with the same naming convention. And we can actually probably copy most of this. We don't need to do anything with the live chat ID because that's separate. That was very specific to YouTube. And then we can switch YouTube to Twitch. Okay. Now we need to have a event handler. What did we have? Yeah, so sync YouTube when YouTube stream handler details or YouTube data change. So we're going to do the same thing here. So this is essentially saying, what are we going to do when this event happens? So sync Twitch when YouTube, no. Double check what this function does. Sync YouTube, sync YouTube. Okay, makes sense. All right, so class, do sync Twitch when Twitch stream details changed. So we don't, I think this one actually, I think we'll still use, the session in this case. We were using session here because we also needed to get access to the playlist. So we needed the video and the session. In the case of Twitch, we don't necessarily need that. We only need to have access to the video. But for consistency, it probably makes sense to keep everything at the session level for this kind of stuff, because I don't think things that aren't live sessions, so like once we actually get to courses and things like that, those aren't going to exist on YouTube. Those won't exist in those other locations. So it makes sense to keep this at the session level, since that's very specific to the live sessions, whereas video is going to be an entity that can be used both for courses and for sessions. All right, so now we need to implement Invoke, sync Twitch when Twitch stream details changed. I named this wrong. Let's see here. I forgot to put handler at the end. Otherwise, we were going to have a naming conflict on its own name. So sync Twitch when Twitch stream details change. There we go. Why didn't I find it? Oh, because we don't need the whole thing. So we just need Twitch stream details changed. There we go. So we're going to get the event. And then as a response to this event, we are going to command bus dispatch. And first we're going to do some checking to make sure that the session exists. But the end result is we're going to session dispatch. So then our command bus dispatch. So we want to sync the Twitch values for the video. So let's go now to command video. All right, so let's go to command video, and we'll It's a lot of little files when you're working with this type of system, where you're relying more on events and commands and trying to keep the distinction between the two. So we're going to do sync Twitch. So this is going to be a command. Needs a video ID and a Twitch video ID. Twitch. So it doesn't need much more than that because that has all of the information we need. And then we need to do a command handler. So we'll go to video. Again, copy this. Sync Twitch handler. YouTube to Twitch again. And so then this is where we get to a point where we need to add a new method. So we're going to first bring in video repository, object manager. I got 2 minutes. Let's see if we can get it done. So we got object manager there. Command sync Twitch. Yeah, so we need to actually go to our video entity. And we have a YouTube video ID. Now we need something similar. We need the Twitch video ID. Okay, so add some getters and setters. So if we go back to our command handler, the command handler can set this value. The command handler comes from the event handler, which had an error. So let's see here. Let's do there we go. So we want to dispatch the command. There was an extra character here too, which didn't help matters. Get YouTube video ID. Oh, it's coming off this event. Just needs to be renamed to Twitch. There we go. All right, so all the pieces I think are in place. We need to do our migration, or generate our migration, and edit it and run it, and keep our fingers crossed because we are at time for today. All right, schedule broadcast. Don't need those, those are unrelated. All right. Run, restart our message, queue, and let's run our bot again and see what happens. Something failed. Legal string offset status at line 51, 991. App Twitch API. This is why the middleware handler is going to be really nice to do. So let's do, we have to fake this, so we'll do status 200 ID, because we're looking at the return value of this in order to see what we get back. So, so if we go back up here, what was going on is it's looking at the status. If it's not equal to 401, it returns the return value. So, yeah, anyway, there's a lot that can be fixed with this. So that also means that the Twitch driver needs to be aware of this. So we'll do video response, and then we need ID. It's really dirty, and I don't like it at all, but it is what it is. So limit 1. All right, so let's try it one more time. Cool. All right, so here we see, do we see that message got triggered? That's all YouTube stuff. Oh, this command bus, no, bot dispatch new sync, no, Twitch stream details changed. We need to pass in a session ID, current stream, live session ID, and video response ID. And now it should work. All right, so once we restart it here, YouTube video ID, session ID, YouTube video. Here we go. So session, Twitch video ID. And if we go look at our video now, and it's actually persisted it. So it's actually made it all the way back to the database, which means now that after this bot is actually running in production, I'll be able to automatically link the sessions or the videos that are created on Twitch to the live session in the database. So any of the syncing stuff that we're doing with YouTube, we could potentially do